TVS Nightline, and here are the headlines for tonight. USA launches 2 airstrikes aimed at Iran and Syria. Sabah's Haji Noor drops hints for an early stage election. And Cebu's famous live chicken wrap in newspaper struggle amidst rise in prices. The United States carried out 2 airstrikes in Syria against Iran-aligned groups on Sunday in what appeared to be the latest response to a series of attacks against American forces in Syria and in Iraq. A U.S. defense official who spoke on condition of anonymity said one of the targets was a weapons storage facility, while the other was a command and control facility, which would suggest a headquarters or other staffed structure. The official said the strikes took place within the past couple of hours and said a U.S. review was underway to determine whether the strikes killed or wounded any Iran-aligned militia members. Sabah's Chief Minister Dato Sri Haji Noor has hinted at the possibility of next state assembly elections being held as early as next year, although the state government still has about 2 more years left to its term. When asked about the likelihood of elections taking place next year, Haji did not dismiss the possibility and said it was something that can be dreamt about. Meanwhile, Haji, in his speech to party delegates at the Parti Gagasan Rakyat Sabah's Congress in Kota Kinabalu, reiterated the importance of bolstering the machinery of Gagasan Rakyat's branches and divisions in anticipation of an earlier state general election. Cebu is known for delicacies like kompia and kampuan noodles, but also been recognized for the unique practice of selling live chickens wrapped in all newspapers. However, due to the recent increases in chicken prices, traders are compelled to make adjustments impacting customer volume. Justin Chu, a trader with nearly 2 decades of experience, notes a staggering increase in live chicken prices, almost tripling from 8 ringgit in 2011 to 20 ringgit in 2023. This sharp rise poses a potential threat to businesses, risking closure if prices continue to spike without a mechanism to control the selling price of live chickens.
In an interview, Chu mentioned that his daily supply of around 60 live chickens from Rantau Panjang became costlier due to an increase in the supplier's rates. Additionally, the cost incurred includes all newspapers used to wrap the chickens, now sold at 1 ringgit per kilogram, along with nylon strings and plastic bags. He expresses hope for government assistance such as subsidies for traders like himself.
Students in remote areas of Sarawak often grapple with educational challenges like illiteracy and dyscalculia. Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dr. Amar Douglas Ugah Mbas, expressed concern over cases where students still struggle with fundamental skills despite completing 5 or 6 years of primary education. And addressing this issue, Ugah has urged the University Malaya Dayak Alumni Association, or PADUM, to collaborate in finding solutions for the challenges faced by Dayak school students in remote areas. He emphasizes the importance of assisting slow learners to ensure they meet the challenges of an evolving and competitive world, aligning with parents' aspirations for their children to excel in studies and become skilled professionals, agripreneurs, and business persons. Ugah pointed out a concern affecting remote Dayak students, highlighting parents' reluctance to allow their children to stay as boarders despite available facilities. He added the need for proper monitoring in boarding schools and addressing truancy and social issues like drug taking is possible, while providing students with a conducive study environment, rules to follow, and proper care can be achieved by having them stay in boarding facilities. Meanwhile, UGA announced a grant of 50,000 ringgit to the association to help Padum give incentives to Dayak students in University Malaya and another 100,000 for it to organize its development discussion and social programs. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Muhammad Asfia Awang Nasar has been reappointed as the Sarawak Dewan Undangan Negeri Speaker for another 2 years starting November 16, 2023 until November 15, 2025. And he was sworn in before the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Sarawak Tun Pihin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud at his residence this morning. Asfia was first appointed as Deputy Dun Speaker in 1995 and as a Speaker in 2000. He was a law graduate from Leeds University, England, and obtained a barrister at law from the Inner Temple, London. Following that, he obtained an advanced degree in port and shipping management from the University of Wales, Cardiff. He also served as a legal advisor to the Sarawak Timber Development and Industrial Corporation from 1974 to 1976, before serving as a solicitor and advocate from 1976 to 2000. He was also appointed chairman of Interfinance Berhad from 1980 to 1991, in addition to serving as editor-in-chief of the Sarawak Tribune from 1990 to 2000. Since 2002, he has been appointed as the permanent chairman of the PBB Sarawak Party and chairman of the Constitutional Committee of the PBB Sarawak Party. He is also a former member of the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly for Kuala Rajang 1979 to 1983 and Serdang Semop 1991 to 2011. He was also appointed as the Deputy Speaker of the Sarawak State Assembly from 1995 to 2000 before being appointed as the Speaker of the Sarawak State Assembly from 15 November 2000. Among those present at his swearing-in ceremony were both Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Ugah Embas and Dato' Amar Professor Dr. Sim Kui Hian, Sarawak Government Secretary Dato' Amar Muhammad Abu Bakar Marzuki, Deputy Dun Speaker Dato' Idris Buang, Sarawak Attorney General Dato' Saferi Ali, Senior Private Secretary to Sarawak Premier Dato' Kir Busra, and the heads of the Sarawak government departments. There is a serious need of attention to early prevention of rabies in Sarawak, considering its concerning trend. Minister of Food Industry, Commodity and Regional Development, Sarawak, Dato' Sri Dr. Stephen Rundi Utom, urges collaboration from all relevant parties to play a vital role in the state's efforts to eradicate rabies.
We need cooperation from the council, from the NGO, from the dogs lover, from dogs owner, from community, TVS. So therefore, despite looking around that we can find excuses for not being able to excel or successful enough, we have to look into working together with especially council. And rabies is not something that we can take lightly. The moment you have dog bite or bitten by the dog, you must seek medical treatment. Because rabies is treatable, 100% preventable.
He further said, in an attempt to address the concerning trend of rabies, his ministry is currently in discussions to establish a veterinary medical center at the University Putra Malaysia, aligning with the post-COVID-19 development strategy PCDS 2030.
Since 2017, the first case of rabies up to now, that means our preventive measure has not come to so-called successful enough to us to prevent or to eradicate rabies. And similarly, this virus, African swine fever, wiped out all the pig farming, except for one or two, because of good biosecurity. But something that we really need to do is to find ways and means to adopt into new technology, new ways of doing things, and at the same time we pursue We need the numbers and so on. And we have, in our planning discussion now, we want to have UPM veterinary medicine in Sarawak. I will give you full support. The ministry will give you full support. Because this is something that way forward for us to fulfill the post-COVID-19 development strategy by the year 2030.
Sarawak is engaging in serious discussion with South Korean agencies to strengthen its digitalisation and innovation initiatives. Sarawak's Minister of Utilities and Telecommunications, Dato' Julaihi Norawi, said the discussions encompass global cooperation between Sarawak agencies and companies in South Korea. Julaihi highlighted the collaborative efforts involving his ministry, the Sarawak Digital Economic Corporation (SDEC), and the Global Digital Innovation Network Korea (GDIN). Also present were his deputy Dato' Lee Wan Lagang, SDEC Chairman Tan Sri Dato' Amar Mohammad Morshidi Abdul Ghani, and SDEC Chief Executive Officer Sudanoto Osman, who is currently in the country for an official visit. Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim is scheduled for one-on-one meetings with prominent American business leaders on the sidelines of the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting AELM from November 14 to 17, 2023, focusing on finalizing high-valued investments to create high-quality job opportunities in Malaysia. In line with the government's priorities as outlined in the Madani Economic Framework and National Industrial Master Plan 2030, named 2030.
Anwar, who is also the finance minister, is scheduled to have bilateral meetings with several leaders of APEC economies to explore ways to further strengthen bilateral cooperation in various areas for mutual benefits. The Prime Minister is also expected to witness the exchange of an agreement between BlackBerry and the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) on cyber security cooperation. Meanwhile, capitalizing on Anwar's presence in San Francisco, the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI, has also arranged for one-on-one meetings with the top management of Google, Innovex, Microsoft and TikTok. These meetings aim to finalize potential investments that would create high-quality job opportunities in Malaysia, in line with the strategies and objectives outlined in the Madani Economic Framework and New Industrial Master Plan 2030.
Following a meeting between Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim and the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi during Anwar's working visit to Egypt on October 23rd, a Malaysian citizen, Nurul Ain Harun, who was in the conflict area of Gaza with her Palestinian husband, Mohammed Sha'at, has been safely evacuated through the Rafah border crossing on Sunday, November 12th. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in a statement said, right after Nurul Ain and her husband arrived at the Rafah border crossing, she was contacted by Anwar and Foreign Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Zambri Abdul Kadir to inquire about their well-being through a video call.
The statement further said that this evacuation was successfully carried out not only due to the meeting between Anwar and the Egyptian president, but also further coordination by the Malaysian Embassy in Cairo and the Malaysian Embassy in Amman. Meanwhile, according to the statement, the Malaysian Embassy in Cairo is also providing appropriate consular assistance to them. At the same time, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also expressed its highest appreciation and thanks to the government of Egypt, the government of Qatar, the Embassy of Egypt in Kuala Lumpur, and the Embassy of Qatar in Kuala Lumpur for the cooperation and priority extended to Malaysia in the effort to safely evacuate Malaysian citizens in the conflict area of Gaza.
The Malaysian Palm Oil Board (MPOB) will continue its research and development (R&D) to increase palm oil-based value-added products for companies in China to export to Muslim regions within the country. Deputy Prime Minister, Plantation and Commodities Minister Dato Sri Fadila Yusof said, to date, several products are being commercialized in China thanks to the Palm Oil Research and Technical Service Institute of Malaysia Palm Oil Board, or PORT-SIM.
Fadila commended PORT-SIM for its successful effort to provide solutions and assistance to industry players by transforming their production methods through the use of palm oil. Fadila said that Chinese companies previously used other raw materials for their products, but now, in order to cater to a much larger market, they are replacing these with palm oil, which is halal and more suitable for the global Islamic market. He said that the research institute is looking into health products based on the versatile crop tocotrienol moving forward. Founded in 2005, PORT-SIM is a branch of the MPOB in China that aims to develop, expand, and advance the Malaysian palm oil market in China and provide technical support and advisory services for related enterprises. The export value of palm-based products to China in 2022 totaled 16.41 billion ringgit, while the export value of Malaysian palm oil to the country in the same year was 8.44 billion ringgit.
The Malaysian Meteorological Department Met Malaysia has issued an alert level continuous rain warning for 4 states starting this Thursday. In a statement today, Met Malaysia said continuous rain was expected in several areas in Kelantan and throughout Terengganu from November 16 to 18. Meanwhile, continuous rain is also expected in Pahang and Sabah from November 17 to 19. Deepavali, or the Festival of Lights, is traditionally a time spent with families. However, for Dr. Dayanandan, the sole ophthalmologist at Limbang Hospital, he's longing for his family to take a backseat to his dedication to duty. This is a story of selfless sacrifice by an eye doctor who chooses to prioritize service over celebrating with his loved ones.
After more than 4 years of service at Limbang Hospital, Dr. Daya had the opportunity to celebrate Deepavali with his family only last year. This time, his Deepavali will be a modest celebration spent with his Indian friends in Limbang.
Walaupun saya tak dapat balik kali ini, tetapi this time around memang ada banyak patient yang mata, kan, yang ada masalah mata, yang kritikal juga. Tetapi sebabkan saya seorang saja doktor mata di sini, membantu mereka lebih pentinglah bagi saya. Okay?
Dr. Daya shared these sentiments with reporters during a Deepavali open house celebration with friends at a restaurant in Limbang on Monday. He highlighted the special significance of the leave without records, given in conjunction with Deepavali falling on November 13th, Monday, and extended to November 14th, Tuesday, for Hindu civil servants in states where the weekly holiday is on Sunday. For him, as a Hindu, this leave goes beyond just time off. It symbolizes appreciation for most Indians serving in Sarawak and appreciate this leave.
Kan, tahun ni kerajaan telah memberikan cuti tanpa rekod untuk kita. Okay, ini bukan saja tentang cuti dia, tetapi it actually menunjukkan bahawa appreciation lah for most of the Indians that have been serving in Sarawak. So kita sangat appreciate lah cuti itu.
Limbang Hospital's senior nurse Suluma Dali, 58, is eagerly anticipating Deepavali to showcase her talent in preparing Indian dishes for her husband, whom she has been married to for over 20 years.
Sebenarnya berbangsa Lembawang, tetapi sudah berkahwin dengan suami saya berbangsa India lah. So bila perkahwinan campuran berlaku, so kita kena belajarlah dari selok-belok budaya suami kita. Sepertinya suami saya India kan, so sekurang-kurangnya saya kena tahu serba sedikit lah adat tersalia, terutamanya berkaitan dengan perayaan yang mereka rayakan lah.
Like other celebrations, according to Suluma, Deepavali is not much different, except for a somewhat noticeable difference in its cuisine.
Setiap hari Deepavali menjelang, perasaan untuk merayakan Deepavali itu memang ada. So, apa yang kita buat, kita akan membuat masakan lah. So, masak yang kita buat pun adalah masakan cara India. So, selalunya kita akan membuat masakan dan tidaklah banyak sangat, tapi kita akan membuat masakan tu bagi dengan staff-staff untuk makan lah. So, bila kita tengok staff seronok makan, kita pun sangat seronok, sangat berpuas hati.
Meanwhile, Lembang Hospital Director Dr. Syed Satah Katullah Muhammad Khalik was also captivated by the distinctive Deepavali celebration in Sarawak, illuminated by the participation of diverse ethnic groups and cultures.
Saya rasa sangat teruja pada hari ini. Ini adalah sambutan Deepavali saya yang kedua saya meraihkan bersama dengan warga-warga India di Limbang sendiri, dan terutamanya saya nak ucapkan terima kasih kepada Dr. Dayanandan yang menjemput saya juga untuk meraihkan bersama untuk hari ini. Bagi saya ini adalah satu pengalaman yang sangat unik, di mana saya pernah meraihkan bersama kawan-kawan ni bukan di Limbang saja, malahan saya pernah di luar negara, di Semenanjung, di Singapura dan di Limbang. Tetapi bagi saya di Limbang ni pastinya menjadi satu sejarah lah, kerana di Limbang ni saya tengok dia ada banyak masyarakat majmuk.
At the same time, he said that even in Sarawak, while still having the chance to savor authentic Indian cuisine similar to that enjoyed in Peninsula, engaging in cultural exchange with diverse multicultural communities in the state.
Hello there and welcome back. Now, voters in Madagascar head to the polls for the first round of a tense presidential election after weeks of opposition protests demanding a fair and equitable vote. Outgoing President Andre Rajoelina, 49, is squaring off against 12 other candidates vying to take the reins of the Indian Ocean island nation, which has a long history of disputed elections.
This year seems no exception as the vote comes amid a deep political crisis that has played out in the courts and on the streets. Press revelations in June that Rajoelina acquired French nationality in 2014 triggered calls for him to be taken out of the race. Detractors said that under local laws, the president was to lose Madagascar nationality and with it, the ability to lead the country. In September, the country's top court dismissed appeals to have Rajoelina's candidacy declared void, sparking opposition anger.
Many flocked to the beaches in Brazil's capital to escape the scorching heat, which reached 50.5 degrees Celsius, marking the highest temperature recorded in summer 2023. The previous record temperature for this season in 2023 was 41.8 degrees Celsius in February, the middle of summer. While some sunbathers were delighted with the high temperature, concerns lingered about its long-term impact on the earth.
A a preocupação com essa questão climática dá até ansiedade na gente, na verdade, assim, porque pensa todo dia o que pode acontecer e as coisas que a gente está vendo, todo mundo falando que não tem mais volta, inclusive. Então,
olha, é preocupante um pouco assim, por mais que eu esteja na praia, gostando do calor, o meu lado preocupado com o planeta fica triste, sabendo que vai ser pior cada vez mais o calor que a gente vai viver.
The Emergency Management Center of Climate Change, CGE in Sao Paulo, also reported a record for the year 2023, an average afternoon temperature of 36.9 degrees Celsius. This marks the highest ever recorded temperature for the month of November since CGE started measuring temperatures 19 years ago. In recent months, Brazil has experienced extreme weather events, including a historic drought in the Amazon and catastrophic rains accompanied by cyclones in the southern part of the country.
Wrapping up the Nightline, rescue workers in northern India said they had made contact with 40 workers trapped for over 24 hours after the road tunnel they were building collapsed. The collapse occurred early Sunday morning, with rescue teams using heavy excavators to clear piles of debris in desperate efforts to reach the 40 men.
Oxygen was being pumped into the blocked portion of the tunnel, with food sent through a water pipe. Initial contact was made via a note on a scrap of paper, but later rescuers managed to connect using radio handsets. Rescue officials Durgesh Ratodi said some small food packets were sent in through a pipe, which is also taking oxygen inside. Ratodi said excavators had removed about 20 meters or 65 feet of heavy debris, but the men were 40 meters beyond that point. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami, who on Monday flew to the site of the accident, said the work to remove the tons of tumbled concrete debris were being made continuously to bring them out safely on social media platform X, formerly Twitter.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that's all the updates for TVS Nightline tonight. I'm Henny Gui. Thank you for watching and have a good night.